Hello and welcome to another episode of the Premier League review show from the Footy Corner. We're going to be reviewing the weekend's Premier League games, and I've got George with me to help along with that. Welcome in, George. How are you?
I've had better weekends, but I'm not actually too bad. How are you doing?
Yeah, not too bad, not too bad. I still don't really know what to think of our result, to be honest with you. Yeah, been a bit of a strange one, to be honest, but we'll get into that. Aisha, welcome in. How are we?
I'm doing all right. How are you?
Again, yeah, I'm still kind of. I don't know if I'm over here. I don't know if I'm over there. I'm not quite sure. The best thing is I predicted a draw as well, and that's what we got, and I'm still confused. So, I don't know where to go from there, to be honest with you. But it's what it is, isn't it? At the end of the day. So let's get straight into things anyway, and we're going to start with the Crystal Palace Man United game, which was a 0-0. Did anybody see that?
Yeah, I did. Can I start with this?
Go on.
So, the guys watching the show, you'll probably kind of see a bit of a theme with my issues on this show. I thought it was quite a level game. I thought Palace played actually quite well. I thought they could have won it. But what my issue is with Lisandro Martinez. We've seen refereeing decisions. I'm trying diplomatic here.
Yeah.
But for hardly anything, and Lisandro Martinez basically near enough does GBH on Dean Henderson and only gets a yellow card. I just don't understand how Martinez. He always does it. He just seems to get away with. He reminds me of Romero. Like he just seems to get away with these really violent fouls, and nothing comes of it. Luckily, Henderson was all right. As he got me extra fantasy points. I don't know if that was for that, but I'd take the fantasy points. But yeah, I don't know. I just thought Man United were winning the league after last week, so I think they're in a transition time. Man United. I think they'll battle for top four. I don't think they'll get top four, but and Palace, I think Palace will be top 10.
Yeah, I mean, for me, it could have been any old score. To be honest with you, it could have been that had 4-2 written all over it for me for United.
Yeah,
it was a bit of a strange old game. That it was kind of both keepers did really well. Both defenses were kind of a bit flaky, and then and they all had opportunities where they could and should really have scored. So it could have been.
I would say the double save from Onana was quite good. They're trying to compare it with Raya's one, but that's what they do. But I still think it was like you look at both of them; they were still great saves.
Did you hear Danny Murphy on Match of the Day? Right, he was comparing Madison. Was it Madison? Yeah, Madison with Haaland on Match of the Day, and then he did the comparison between those saves in that game and Raya's saves, and I was like, "Are you actually watching football?"
Yeah,
he took over from his ex-Tottenham colleague Jermaine Genius, isn't he, with his outtake? So
yeah, that's it. They have to create some kind of outrage some way, don't they? It's just bizarre. I don't know why people can't just leave things alone and basically go, it's a great save. It ranks here. It doesn't have to be better. Every single thing doesn't have to be better.
No,
but I mean, I will caveat that and say that Raya's was in two directions for a start.
Yeah, that's true.
So the fact that he's gone in one direction to get to the first one and then gone in the same direction to get next one, he doesn't have to adjust that much. I know he has to get back up, but he doesn't have to fully get back up. Whereas if you're changing around, you have to fully get up to fully dive the other way, if you know what I mean.
I will say the return for the second save what Onana done is I can't think of the player it was. I think that he could have done it, could have tested him a bit more. So that's
Yeah, I mean that again was leveled at Raya, wasn't it? And that is true in all three instances, really. But you can only say what's put in front of you, right? So
it's still good.
Yeah, if he'd got it further and he'd still got to it, they'd have found something else wrong with it, wouldn't they? So you know, at the end of the day, So for me, I could see a style of play from Man United that I haven't seen for a while. So you know, maybe Ten Hag's got things working in the right direction a little bit. I'm not going to go.
Just think it's a matter of time. Like, I just don't know. Like when they bring Van Nistelrooy on as your coach, I just think it's a bit of a weird one. Like to bring someone who was in charge, because he was managing in Holland, wasn't he?
Yeah, he was. Yeah.
I don't know. It just like with Man United, I always think they remind me of other teams. Like if they win one game, everything's perfect. If they lose another one, it's like, oh.
Yeah, I mean, in fairness, we've gone through that little situation where we're trying to pluck cherries and not altogether conducive. But you know, if they're happy with the process and whatever, who are we to argue? I just you know, obviously the on the field play is kind of. I don't really get this, to be honest, where rival fans tell fans of other clubs what they should be thinking.
No, exactly.
Yeah, you know, we could only judge the football really rather than the fan base itself. That's my kind of take on it. I don't know about you guys.
I agree, and I also think that I'm getting a little bit fed up with other fan bases doing two things. One, acting like armchair managers and acting like they know your team better than you know your team, and also just really, I know that there's always been banter and rivalry, but lately it feels really, really dark the way that some fans are talking to each other, the way that they're really getting happy from seeing each other lose.
Well, they do hate watchers now, and I don't really get why you waste your time, to be honest with you. I watch football because I like watching football. I'm not watching it because, you know, I just want you to lose. And these people, these rival fans that are basically sat there and they go, I watched an outtake of one with the penalty against Atalanta. A competition that Man United fans aren't even in, and that you've got Man United fans sat there cheering the penalty award, and it's like I don't understand. I don't get this. You know, I get coming on having an opinion. You know, talking about football and getting where you think the team's going wrong and how they can improve and whatever. I don't mind the armchair manager thing because if you've got something to say, you say it, that's fine. But when you're just wasting your time, just literally sat there hating on people to lose.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm doing that.
Don't that come from the media though? Like as well, like when you got, I'll just put it out there. You got people like Jamie O'Hara when Tottenham are playing City, like on stations like Talk Sport saying, "Oh yeah, I want City to win, so them lot down the road don't win the title." And I don't know. I just think like when you have people in the media, because like let's be honest, people look up to people in the media whether they should or they shouldn't. Like this, I don't know. I just wonder if it comes from there because it seems a lot more prominent than it used to be. Like, and I think like when you're seeing people like that, I'm trying to think of another example. So people just don't think I'm Tottenham hating, but I can't at the minute. But
Liverpool City is a completely strange one, isn't it? It's one where they've fought for the title and then they've got really, really close and they can't usurp them. But it's like they're really good friends.
Yeah.
Yeah, I find it odd. You know, if they've stopped you getting somewhere that you need to go, they're the roadblock.
Yeah.
And
You'd never catch Fergie and Wenger doing that. Never.
well, no, I mean,
Or even Mourinho. Even
Mourinho, Simeone, you know, and behind closed doors, they might be that they might share a glass of wine or whatever they do, a
Yeah.
beer or whatever, but they're never gonna hug each other and whatever. I mean, I love that we've got by now, but now that we've got by, obviously, suddenly it's a problem.
Yeah.
You know, when we had a soft underbelly, that was a problem. Now we have bite, that's a problem. So
I said this yesterday on a show I was on. It's like they're trying to push us to be passive, and they want us to sit back and to be, in case we're scared of getting, you know, getting carded.
I don't think it's anything about being scared, Aisha. I think it's literally it's trying to either gaslight people into teams into playing the way that you want them to play.
Yeah, that's a good point.
And it's like, well, and now all fans of like City, for example, are just like, well, how dare you not do what Pep says?
Yeah.
What? And how does that make sense? Because
I can't believe I'm actually saying this after all the years that I hated Man United. And let me just get one thing straight. As a very young girl, I was 14 years of age when he scored against us that Ryan Giggs scored against us in the dying minutes of that FA Cup game where he took his shirt off and revealed that horrible fucking hairy chest, right? Running around that. I still have PTSD from that moment in my life, right? To actually sit here and say that I think Man United have got more class and I hate them less than Man City is a very, very big statement.
But I think they do.
Oh, I've got a lot to say about
City. What's that, George?
I said I've got a lot to say about City. Like what's happened today, I'll be quick on this one. So I've started to calm down, and then I read something else that riles me up.
I've been doing that.
Yeah.
Right, so I was starting. So obviously, for people watching, I can't see, so I'm registered blind. So I was listening to the game in the pub yesterday, after going to the 2-2 women's game that I was already pissed off with.
Yeah, I bet you weren't happy with that either.
So I didn't know about the Haaland thing until this morning.
Yeah.
So I was like, I go to work and I've read it. I thought, right, that's it. And as soon as I walked into work, they was like, "You all right?" I went, "Yeah, I'm fine."
Yeah. I'm absolutely not.
No. So, yeah, but we'll talk about the Haaland thing.
We'll talk
We
about
can go on that in a sec. We're just gonna. Yeah. Sorry, Aisha.
No, I said we'll get on that in a bit. I was agreeing with you.
Yeah, fair enough. I didn't actually hear what you said. Sorry. I was trying to multitask. It wasn't working. Anyway, the Tottenham Brentford game, there was a little bit of controversy in that as well. Has anybody seen the?
Yeah, write that down on the list as well to compare. I did like the Picario thing. Like, how's he allowed? I just, I not because I hate Spurs. Well, I do, but I think Picario's a bit overrated. But
I do.
I like all that talk when he was flapping like someone out of Angry Birds when Ben White was. Like, I don't know. Like, I thought they were quite lucky, Tottenham, in that sense, because I thought he could have gone. I know Jamie O'Hara said they're back. I should say Pete Brentford.
How many times has he said that? Then?
Yeah, I did. I still remember the clip, Sparks, when he said, "Oh, Arsenal, watch out! Chelsea, watch out! And City, watch out! And Liverpool." When they bought Antonio Conte, that lasted long.
Yeah.
But I've been with Brentford. It's a difficult one because obviously they lost Tony, and then they brought in a striker, didn't they, to replace him? And then he got put out for the rest of the season.
Yeah.
And then Johan Visser, he's out with a bad injury now, so they ain't had much luck really. I will say
they could be struggling, couldn't they? Do you see them going down? Do you think they'll stay in the division?
I think they may. The only reason I think they may be all right is because I think there's probably about 4 teams worse than them.
Yeah.
I think Everton are worse. Don't think Leicester are that good. Famous words after this weekend.
Yeah, don't.
Yeah, like I'd like to see Ipswich stay up, but I think it's a bit too much. So
Yeah, I predicted them to stay up, and I think it might be a bit of a pipe dream.
yeah, so them sort of teams. But I hope Brentford. I wouldn't mind not seeing them go down. I think Thomas Frank's done an amazing job at Brentford personally.
Yeah, I agree. So it kind of made them a bit of a stalwart in the Premier League. So
And you think like the backing they have, mate, as well. It's not off anyone rich, is it? It's like there's a lot of community but stuff based things they do.
yeah,
So.
it's a very community based club, in it. So yeah, I respect them quite a lot. To be fair,
But I will say that I think I watched a little bit of it. I thought Carvalho looks like a player. Like, I know you saw bits of him at Liverpool and Fulham, but for someone like Brentford getting week in, week out football, I think he could he might even help him stay up. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, if he's a standout player as well, then obviously he could do the business, couldn't he? But yeah, as I say, they've got a few injuries, so yeah, I hope that gets resolved for them. But yeah, a better performance from Spurs, and yeah, I kind of expected them to win anyway, to be honest with you.
Yeah, they had to after just getting through against Coventry, didn't they? Because I think the Tottenham fan base is quite split with Big Ange, as they call him. I think there's a few people wanting to go. I don't get this, mate. Like, they want him to go. Sacking managers and chopping and changing don't work, does it? So you think like he lost Harry Kane last year. I think that was last year. Son's, I don't think Son's as great as he was. I think he could be a bit on the decline. So, like, he's brought in Dominic Solanke. I think he'll do a job there. Like, what if they get rid of Postecoglou? Who are they going to bring in? Like,
well, I was about to say, George, I think you're right on one thing, but the other thing is as well. You said the fan base is divided. I think actually he's divided about the fan base, because I think he thinks a group of them are a bunch of wankers, and the other side are all right. Be totally fair. I think that he's but I think that I still think that City game last season that left a really nasty taste in his mouth, and I'm not entirely sure if I think that he's restored his faith in the fan base.
Yeah, it's weird because, I wonder if it was in another setting, like obviously take the Tottenham Arsenal thing away for it. Like, he's managed Celtic and Rangers, so against Celtic and Rangers, so he must know what really big, massive rivalry, and like you go to some parts in Scotland, Celtic Rangers. I'd say it's a lot bigger, Sparks. I don't know if you agree, than say Arsenal and Tottenham.
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
Yeah, you know what I mean. So he must
huge. God's sake.
So he must.
Get they go to war. They don't go to play football.
No, so he must get that. He must get that thing from Tottenham fans wanting City to win. I don't know, but I could never want that for myself. But
no,
I don't know. And maybe it's a bit of an excuse. Just test the water.
That said, I mean, I'm still not one of these people that will basically go, well, I'm not winning this because they would theoretically win that, and I just want my team to do well. I don't care about them enough to not want to win something.
Yeah, and I don't think Daniel Levy is sitting there thinking, do you know what? I don't want us to get Champions League in case Arsenal win the title.
Well, yeah, I mean, the thing is, for me anyway, I think that the fan base, when they complain about Levy all the time, I think they should just complain about themselves.
Yeah.
Because they give him an out every time, because they go, like the Champions League situation, where they basically go, well, if it stops them winning the league, I don't want Champions League. So, like, you're the problem then, not him.
No. It's the mentality, isn't it? Like
That's what I
it's
mean.
losing mentality that you're happy Arsenal not winning the league. Like I don't know. I don't know another team that really would do it. Like I don't see. Like you look at Man United, or going back to them, they were gutted when that with the treble. When City won that, like they didn't just roll over. I don't really see any other team that would do it.
No, it's a bit odd. Bit odd.
Bit weird.
Anyway, let's move on. Southampton won, Ipswich Town won. Didn't really see much in that, to be honest.
No.
It was a bit of a balanced game, like kind of what I expected. I mean, it's still another good point from Ipswich's point of view, to be fair. Away from home, they've done decent. They've away from home. They got a point at Brighton and a point at Southampton now, so they can replicate the home form and actually beat at home. Maybe they do stay up.
I was going to say their home form's massive.
Yeah, but that ground is unique, isn't it? So I do think that will play a big factor if they do manage to stay up. Yeah, we're just going to shoot through these because obviously we're Arsenal fans anyway. If we get rival fans, then obviously we can talk about things a bit more. But Liverpool 3, Bournemouth 0. For me, it was a bit of a walk in the park for Liverpool.
Yeah, I agree with that one.
Yeah, they played quite well. Bournemouth had a goal disallowed, I believe, but it was correctly ruled out.
Could have changed. That game could have gone on its head though, because if obviously I know it was offside, but if that goal stood, that was in the first 4 minutes as well.
Yeah, but I agree with that. And Bournemouth do create chances, whoever they kind of play. So it's not an easy fixture, and to come out 3-0, I think that's quite impressive from Liverpool point of view, to be honest.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Leicester 1, Everton 1. I mean, what we're saying that they've
just been took over today as well, haven't they? I think Everton. I think they've got their takeover accepted today. So.
Oh, it's finally been done, is it?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Okay, I haven't seen that. I'll read up on that once I get offline. Then.
Everton, they're just a championship team. Like I know that sounds really disrespectful, but I think they managed to stay up just by the skin of their teeth. Like it's been happening the last couple of years, isn't it? And
they did have the points deduction, though.
Well, yeah, I suppose that don't help, does it? Not everyone.
If you give them 12 points back or whatever it was, then they'd obviously be a lot more comfortable.
I don't know. Is it when you've got, say, Sean Dyche is a decent manager for a team like that? Is that? I wonder if, obviously, with this takeover, just say it has gone through, devil's advocate. Wonder what their ambition is. Because if it's, I don't think Sean Dyche is sort of like a top 10 manager.
I'm not sure you can blame the management, to be honest. I think the ownership is the one for me that's it's been missing.
No, I won't blame him, but what I'm saying is if the owners are deciding to put a bit more money in, are they going to want to give that money to like a Sean Dyche, or are they going to try and look at a more attractive?
But for me, the owners are the reason that they had to sell Onana, and Onana, the difference in them staying up or not.
Yeah, I suppose.
Because he's gone to Villa, and he's, I know it's early days, but he's looked like he could already be signing the season.
Yeah, he's been playing well. And with Leicester, I think it's similar with like Southampton and that. I think if anyone's going to stay up, it could probably be Leicester.
Yeah, maybe. Anything to add on that, Aisha?
No, I just think, to be honest with you, so many of the games this weekend were quite. I felt watching Match of the Day, they were quite predictable. I mean, there was nothing really that. It was like your classic Saturday afternoon.
Don't put your foot in it. You'll see in the next one.
All right, go on.
Fulham 3, Newcastle 1.
Yeah, I was waiting.
All right, maybe this is the outlier to what I'm saying.
So you mean Hale End 3?
Yeah, pretty much. So yeah, a bit of a turn up for the books. This one for me.
This is the game. To be honest with you, this was the game where, I mean, anyone that has heard me on these shows before knows that my brother is incredibly neurotic for a young man, and he was putting the messages in our family group chat when this game was going on because of who was scoring. And he was going, we should have never sold ESR. Look what he's doing at Fulham. And he was assisted by another Arsenal player. And I'm like,
Yeah, it will be. We got good money for
yeah.
ESR. We got good money for.
Yeah, and we didn't say a good word about Iwobi, let's be totally honest. Like, the fan base never really said a good word about him.
I have no idea how he got that money for Iwobi.
They could have been on a cold case for like fraud, because like how we got that money.
I think somebody should be handcuffed for daylight robbery.
Yeah.
Absolute daylight robbery.
I will say that.
Million.
I will say that I get what people saying, "Oh, we should never," but playing for Arsenal week in, week out, and playing for Fulham week in, week out there's quite a bit of a different level.
Exactly.
I think Smith Rowe will do well at Fulham.
But he's not going to get the same attention that he would get at Arsenal, is he?
Yeah, it's just what I mean. Like, it's just coincidental. Obviously, Odegaard's been injured. People say, "Oh, yeah, he would have played there," but how do you know? Like, how do you know that what if he stayed at Arsenal, he didn't pick up another injury, or God forbid that he does?
Yeah.
Like he started really, really well. Like, I won't say he hasn't, but is he going to be able to do it for the whole season and then back to back? Like, I don't know. That's all we have to wait and see. And like, maybe it shows how bad Newcastle are if you've got Alex Iwobi setting up goals against you. Like, I don't. I think Fulham.
I was going to pose that kind of question because they haven't had the best start of the season, have they?
No.
The only thing I'll say on this, though, it kind of draws on your point, is that it's all right people saying that, and I've done that as well. But it's like my husband said, his dad used to always have this saying: would you rather be the best house in a worse street, or the best house in a worse street, or the worst house in a best street? And I think that's kind of a bit like what happened with Emil, because he wasn't going to get the play at Arsenal, and fair play to him. He wanted to play. We all know he wants to play. He's going to get a lot more opportunities and a lot more chances at Fulham. And it's all right people say, look what he's doing there. But it's a totally different pace of game when you play for Arsenal. And I just don't, I think that he probably in his mind would rather be the king of that castle than the pauper of another one.
I actually think that he wants to play to potentially come back.
Yeah.
I don't think he in his head, I don't think his journey is over. I don't think he has any animosity as such.
No, not at all.
I think he's upset that he had to leave because that was his dream job, and he started with his dream job, and he had to leave. So maybe he's left to prove a point. Maybe he's left to and he's going to strengthen up. And I don't know. Maybe he comes back at some point in his career.
I mean, don't tell me that if he's banning in goals and setting up goals in the next 12 to 18 months,
we're not going to want him back.
It's not going to look there and think, oh, do you know what? Maybe I was wrong. And
I mean, it's nothing to do with his character. No. He probably, apart from the fact that he maybe thought possibly he was a bit soft and he wanted to leave, but he wanted to leave to get game time. So yeah. I kind of respect that, to be honest. And
yes.
And most players that leave, don't leave under a cloud as such. That there have been a few, obviously, but I don't think anybody would close the door to a return if he did prove to be of that level.
And
Yeah.
you know
No.
what? We were having this conversation last night, and we were saying that, like, again, me and my husband were saying they're all still friends, right? And as much as Smith Rowe has got a job to do at Fulham, you trying to tell me that when when Fulham's not ready to play Man City or Tottenham or one of these other clubs, you trying to tell me they're not in a group chat somewhere going, listen, mate, you got to Zaka's going to him, listen, mate, you got to get behind this one, rattle this one up. This is how you push this one. Do not push as in physically, but push them down the park, this, that, and the other. Of course they do. We know that they do. And really, he's going to want to do something against these big clubs for three reasons. One, because he wants to play football. Two, because he's got a job to do and he wants to do it for Fulham. And three, I think there will be a bit in him, but he's not, like I said, I agree with you, he's not a horrible player. He's a decent human being. There will be a part of him that will want to say to Arteta, like psychologically, look what I can do, but you never gave me the chance.
Yeah, and he ain't going to be. He's more going to want to prove a point than wanting to fly a kite like they did last season. Do you know what I mean? So
yeah.
I just don't see. I just think Smith Rowe's there. He wants to play football. Like he'll still have international aspirations. Like, let's be honest. Like, I know. I don't think it's impossible for him to get back in the England setup.
No, I don't think so. No, he just needs to produce, and at the end of the day, and then see where it takes him, basically. But I thought that was a bit of a turn up for the books from.
It was nice to see, though.
From Fulham to Newcastle. Actually, I looked at the table, and Newcastle haven't had such a bad start. They're sixth in the table, so a bit of.
What would you say a good season is for Newcastle?
I think they need to get at least Europa League.
Yeah,
I think that they usurped Europa League, and I think that they should have done. They should have started with the Europa League and built on the team from there to push for Champions League. I think that the Champions League came too early for them, to be honest.
yeah.
So because of the trials and the tribulations and the size of the squad, had they built up the squad with Europa League, so built it up a little bit, and then maybe done Champions League the year after, they might have been holding Champions League spots now.
Yeah, I think like we're talking about managers. I think if they don't get Europe, I think Eddie Howe is under a lot of pressure.
Yeah, I agree.
I think it's under a lot of pressure anyway. To be honest, I think with the backing he's had and the players that brought in
players like Isak and Guimaraes are not going to Bruno and Isak. They're not going to want to stay if they're not in Europe for another season.
I really think that that a year or 2 years absolute maximum they're going to want out.
Yeah,
I think they'd be okay if they got Europa League. I think they'd be okay with a promise that they're going to push to get back in Champions League. But I think that phones are going to get hot, aren't they? If they're not in Europe.
Oh yeah.
Absolutely.
I think you're right.
Villa Wolves, a bit of a derby there, and Villa doing what we all thought they would.
Yeah, enough that was definitely one that didn't. Didn't Wolves go 1-0 up though?
Yeah,
I think they did, but I think that generally happens to us, isn't it? When we beat them, it's we normally go one behind and then turn up the wick and beat them.
Yeah, I thought that it was a very good performance by Villa, to be fair. But I think didn't the last goal come in like the last couple of minutes, if I remember rightly, and it was like pretty obvious that was it sealed then.
Yeah. To be fair, I mean, they played well. I wasn't surprised that they played well. I was quite, I'd probably have gone for a 3-1, and And I've seen a lot of my 3-1 bets there that I'd normally do as well. So, though I would never do the Fulham one. I'd probably do it the other way around. But yeah, I think Villa have another good season. To be honest, I'm not sure that they'll finish in the Champions League spots again.
Oh, they
But-
think they're in the league, mate.
Well, I've heard that a couple of times. I've not heard it on a gross scale yet. But I've heard the odd people saying that. But yeah, guys, if you're in the channel, please make sure you're liking, subscribing, and if you want to come and chat, then that's what the chat is there for. But yeah, I'll do all that good stuff.
I do think they'll get top 4, actually.
Do you?
Yeah.
But even with the Champions League,
yeah, I don't see really who could
I think
challenge.
Chelsea might.
Yeah, it's either Villa or Chelsea. I don't like Man United. I don't think would.
I don't think Man United will. I think it's a year or two too early.
Yeah, I think Villa or Chelsea for me.
I think
Yeah.
the top 4, the current top 4 are the right top 4 in the wrong order.
You put that on me now.
Is that
Yeah.
me making that horrible scratchy noise? Because it keeps coming backwards and forwards, and if it is, I'll get my earphones. But now it's disappeared. Now I've said that.
Don't know. I can't hear anything really. But yeah. Talking of Chelsea, they battered West Ham 3-0.
Even though West Ham should have a penalty as well.
And West Ham should have had a penalty. Yes, they held on to him for about a good 2 seconds. Did for Farner, but was that a 2-0 as well?
3-0, wasn't it?
Yeah, I know the result was 3-0, but the penalty shout was on 2-0, wasn't it?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Yeah, so it could have turned the game, but Chelsea looked decent, but I think they were helped by West Ham being dreadful.
I just think with West Ham, they brought all those players in. They're going to need time to adjust. So I don't think you'll see really West Ham doing or what those players can do until like at least Christmas. But
Is that not down to Lopetegui though? Is that not?
Yeah.
Could he not do better with it? Because you see, like the likes of Onan, I know that they've got everybody else, and then they only brought 2 players in to Villa, but yeah, you looked at the transfer window and you thought West Ham had done really well, and they were on a springboard, but they seem to be on a riding to a hiding every week.
He's mixing it up a bit. Like he's not really he's still playing some of what they played under David Moyes, and then bringing them off the bench. Like if you're bringing these players in, you obviously must fancy them for a reason. So why not just start them? Like Wan-Bissaka and people like that. Like you think you've got Wan-Bissaka and Kilman, that's half of a back 4 with them, and I think they're decent players. And then you've got Falkirk. I think he's a good striker.
Falkirk, yeah.
Yeah. Even the one they got on loan from PSG, like he hasn't featured as much as I thought he would.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, if he's on loan from PSG, there's a bit of an alarm bell there.
Oh yeah, I suppose.
Well, the fact that he's coming from PSG to West Ham on loan is a
Mate,
bit of a
maybe likes London restaurants, mate. I don't know.
Maybe it's a bit more than that. Maybe it's
He likes the tube.
Yeah,
He likes the tube.
I'm gonna say they have the metro. It's about the same thing.
Yeah.
So yeah, but yeah, I think West Ham could be. I think that they're not going to be in any kind of relegation battle or anything like that. But I don't think they're going to be, unless things turn around really radically, pretty quickly. I think that they might be in a bit of trouble.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But let's go to the other 2-2, which is the Brighton Forest game, which is a little bit of a surprise to me.
Yeah, that was a surprise to me, to be fair.
A bit of a blip, aren't they, Brighton?
Yeah.
Since that Ipswich game. Funny.
Yeah, I mean, both at home as well, weren't they?
Is that 3 draws on the trot?
Yes, I believe it is. Yeah, they drew with us. They drew with Forest, drawn with Ipswich.
Yeah.
3
Yes.
games, 3 goals.
Yeah, I think Nuno's doing all right at Forest, to be honest. But they beat Liverpool at Anfield last week, so he's doing decent.
And
Yeah.
say about Forest, they are. Where are they in the league? I'm trying to remember where they are.
Got Forest.
Yeah,
11th, up that way, I would reckon.
yeah. That's what I was noticed on Match of the Day 2 last night. They're not having a bad start of the season, really.
No.
And they're actually putting. I mean, they beat Liverpool 1-0 last week, didn't they?
Yeah,
They're 8th.
8th. Oh, worse than better than I thought. Conference League football, same for Forest.
Yeah, they're they're on the same points as Brighton.
Yeah.
Yes, so they've had a great start to the season.
Yeah, granted, we're only 5 games in. The table starts kind of settling down once we get to about 10 games.
Yeah.
So
I think they've got with their players like Morgan, Gibbs White, and Hudson Odoi. I think they're really important to Forest.
Didn't Gibbs White got sent off though, didn't he?
Yeah.
So I don't think he can play the next game either. So that's.
But I still think he's quite important, and like the defensive sort of solidarity they have under Nuno, I think helps as well. Like with the way the wing backs play. I don't know what goalkeeper they've got in goal, but if it's that really tall one, it's probably hard to get it past him.
Sells, isn't it?
Yeah. So and Chris Wood doing Chris Wood things.
Chris Wood things, yeah. Yeah. That's kind of all he seems to do. I mean, he's always a bit of a dark horse, isn't he, for the fantasy teams?
Yeah. I will say something that really shocked me, and it's not to do with the Premier League, but I saw Andy Carroll scored 2 goals for Bordeaux on his debut.
Yeah, I saw he was going to transfer there, but
I didn't even know he was.
It was mental. I was like, I haven't heard that name for years, and then all of a sudden, he's out.
You've just said that, and I was like, "Hang on, the same one."
Yeah,
it's the same one. Yep.
I was like,
yeah, it's been living in a caravan for how long? I don't know.
Yeah.
Oh,
the real Gypsy King. Right then. Yes.
Nothing really happened in this game, did it?
No, nothing happened in this game, did it?
Move along, nothing to see.
Nothing to see. So yeah, obviously the Arsenal City game, or City Arsenal as it was, it finished 2-2. Let's go with the lineup to start off with, and the first time he's put Timber and Calafiori on, and Ben White had to go on the bench. Trossard up top. Was anybody was shocked with the lineup, or was that?
I was a bit surprised Ben White wasn't started.
I was, and then I thought maybe Arteta was going that he wanted to have all left-footed players playing.
Okay,
and that's why he sacrificed Ben White. I don't know. I think it was harsh because obviously we know how great Ben White is, but that's the only other reason I can think that happened.
Could it also be because he had a sneaking suspicion, knowing what he knows about City and knowing what he knows about how Pep's mind works? Do you think that he thought this was going to get very physical in the second half, and we are going to need Ben White's dark arts of shithousery?
We're not allowed to do that anymore, are we?
No, we're not allowed to, but apparently everybody else is.
Yeah, that's a fair point, actually. Like, I think.
Can I just add, gents, the patriarchy does not exist. I'm sat here on a football stream, and my husband has just brought me a cold drink while I'm sat in bed. Tell me that that's not me winning at life, right? That is me winning at life.
Yeah.
Give advice. You have to get advice from you, Aisha.
Absolutely.
Maybe I'm the new Ben White school of shithousery and dark arts.
Yeah. So, what did you make of the game in general? Let's do the first half, because we kind of know what led to in the second half. But let's do the first half. What was your take on the first half, George?
I was a bit worried when that thing up front scored.
The robot.
That thing. Can I say something? Am I allowed to swear on here?
I don't.
You've
You've
done it
been
twice,
there.
so you might as well.
My brother said that man is so ugly. He looks like Martin Clunes fucked the BFG.
Wow. Okay.
And I went, "All right,
yeah,
moving swiftly on."
I thought I was a bit concerned. I thought if that when that went in, I thought, oh, please not
Here we
like
go.
open the floodgate sort of thing. But
Yeah, I thought the
to be
same.
fair, we brought it back a bit. Mate, who needs a number 9 when you got Calafiori? Do you know what I mean? Like,
Just as long as it's not like Santos, and that's the only thing he ever does for us.
Yeah.
Then, you know what I mean?
He didn't swap shirts with anyone, did he? At half time, so it can't be Santos.
No, but
So, yeah. But no, I thought we got back into the game quite well. Then obviously we got second goal from Gabby. Standard, isn't it? Really, corner goal. Just it's like eat, sleep.
Well, it
repeat.
wasn't standard though, was it? Because they changed the marker on him.
Yeah.
And Walker tried to do Ben White things, didn't he?
You know what? That really made me laugh because it wasn't right. He tried. I put on Twitter yesterday. He tried to be Ben White, but it was so ridiculous. It looked more like Rainbow Bright because he was so. It was like two little girls in a playground. Like, no, you take it. No, you take it. Like he was literally acting like some silly little girl, and I was like, "You're a ridiculous human being, mate. You don't even know how to shit house properly." Like, it's just, I really hate Carl Walker.
Well, I
I
mean,
don't
it
even
was.
like when he plays for England.
Yeah, well, don't get me started on that.
But
what I mean, standard. Obviously, like you put the ball in the box, and Gabriel is probably our best finisher at the minute. I'm not gonna lie. But yeah, I thought we was in the game. Do you know what I mean? And then, then dot.
I did like Martinelli's intelligence on the ball because last week he tried to score on his own. Xhaka was right there. He didn't pass, and we could have been 2-0 up against Spurs. And this time he actually didn't make the same mistake. He actually did pass it. And I thought, you're a really intelligent player. And the thing I love about this current Arsenal team, there's a lot of hunger, but I would also think that I also don't think there's a lot of ego. There's confidence. Confidence and ego are two different things. And I think that it's not about an individual getting a goal. It's about making the right person in the right position get the goal. And they're also doing something now that I'm loving, that they went through a phase of doing. They were always trying to score the most perfect goal, always trying to play the best football. Sometimes it doesn't matter what the football looks like. You just need the result. And the last 30 minutes of that game yesterday proved it. We were knackered by the time. Did you see the stats? 82% possession Man City had to our 18. I mean, they threw everything at us, and for the majority of it, we kept that ball out the back of that net.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what it takes now, and that's what I think we're doing. And I took nothing away. I've heard Arsenal fans acting like, not only acting like we lost the game, but acting like we've been bloody relegated. The way some of them were talking about that game yesterday, and I'm like, you need to take the fact that this is the best team in Europe. And they couldn't beat us. They haven't beaten us 4 times in the last 2 seasons. Take that. Because I really, really do think we're going to turn them over at the Emirates.
I really hope we
smash them as well.
Like I'll be honest, I'm disappointed, but the more what's over, it's more anger at City and the officials. Personally, like I think, if you said to me, we've got Villa away, Tottenham away, Man City away, and we're getting 7 points, I'd be like, yeah, right, I'd snap your hand off. And I think it's all about when goals go in, isn't it? Like, let's be honest. If Man City scored just after half time and we held on, everyone would be like saying, "Oh, it's amazing." No, like there wouldn't be, I don't think, this feeling. But where we've just like in the last seconds of the game, I think that's probably why some people feel disappointed. But I don't. I try to stay away from Twitter when these things happen. But like, I think more what it is, it's the injustice that we could have won, and we probably should have won. And if we didn't have that red card, I honestly think we go on and win it.
Yeah,
I feel a bit like I feel a bit damned if you do, damned if you don't at the minute as an Arsenal fan, because
Yeah.
if you turn around and say that you're really happy with that result, then you're being delusional. If you say that you're not happy with it, you're moaning.
Yeah.
If you complain about the refs or the very strange things going on with City with money, you're looking for excuses. You're playing the victim narrative. I was saying to Sparks before we came live, right?
Yeah.
We've been watching that new Amazon series about Prince Andrew. And at the moment, they're talking about how they're getting all the information on it. I'm not going to go into detail because this is obviously not what this show's about. But I was watching it and I said to my husband, why is it these reporters can dig up everything they possibly can, just trailing Google? They're not going to archives or going anywhere about senior members of the royal family involved in this case.
But not
But
Man City.
But Man City somehow, when the stuff is staring you at the face, no one's putting the pieces together.
Yeah. It's just so much contradictory, like stuff, like with City, and even with that stuff that happened in the game yesterday. Are we going on to that now, Sparks, or in a minute?
yeah, go for it.
Because so I've got a bit of a run up here. So, right. So what my argument is, so Leandro Trossard gets booked for pulling the person's shirt. Fine, whatever. So are you booking every other player that does that in the game? Probably not. And then the second one with the kicking the ball away. If he has kicked that ball away, then why does Jeremy Doku not get booked? But then even worse, it's with different parts of your body. So Erling Haaland can launch a ball at the Gabriel back of his head. Is that not throwing the ball away?
Well, yeah.
Well, Haaland barged 3 players out of the way. Yeah. Completely launched himself at them and didn't get anything. So,
but then they're saying, like, I honestly believe, I don't know if you guys agree, but if that was Bukayo Saka or Kai Havertz, that's a straight red. If they'd done that,
I think it probably is.
And also, can we also add the fact to that they're meant to be taking 2 things seriously in the Premier League now that they're not taking seriously in that game. If you surround the ref and intimidate the ref, that's meant to be a yellow card for everybody that's there other than the captain. That didn't happen yesterday. Yeah. And also head injuries. Head injuries are the things that they're meant to be taking seriously. The actual rule now is you can't stop the game of play for anything other than a head injury. But isn't it funny when their players got cramp and were rolling around the floor, the game was stopped. Martinelli.
I don't know if that's not completely true, because when I think was it Timber that was down, and I don't know if you saw, but when Raya kicked the ball out and it didn't go out, did you see what happened?
Is that when Skelly said keep it down or put it down or something like that, and then he got carded?
No. Well, no, not that one. No, that was later on. But
what happened? Remind me.
So the physio basically ran on the pitch anyway. So the game wasn't stopped. The ball was still in play, and he ran on the pitch.
But even that made me laugh with Lewis Skelly. He hadn't even played, and he got booked.
Yeah, I mean he's on the bench, so he can get booked. But he's
no, it was just like, Then Jesus, it just feels like they were getting booked for
Jesus booking shouldn't be a booking, by the way, because all he was saying is my boot's off. You can't continue the game.
Yeah,
because that is a rule. But he continued to book him anyway because how dare anybody tell Michael Oliver his job and that he's
like Michael Oliver, how is he in charge of Man City games? Like,
Oh, don't.
I don't know how true it is, but like apparently he went and refereed a game like in Abu Dhabi.
It's true.
Right.
They've got photos of him. And all the 4 officials yesterday were paid £20,000 each to referee a game, and the person that is in charge of that tournament is the owner of Man City, and the current the current head of sport out there in the Saudi league. He is he worked with Pep, right, for 4 years. That's what I'm saying. And when Pep comes out with statements like, if I find out there's anything corrupt, I'm leaving, mate, you know there's something corrupt.
Yeah, do us a favour.
You know there's something corrupt. You are literally, you're waiting to jump before you're pushed so you can virtual signal and claim that you are the good, honest person and that you can walk into any other club without a cloud over your head. We all know you're in on this. I know it's just so ridiculous that people, I'm sick and tired of staying quiet and not saying that, because the minute you stay quiet or you start saying it, you're moaning because it didn't go your way. What's really telling for me is other fans of other clubs that are now bringing out all the stats of games that he has ref their matches and gone, hang on, he didn't book City players with this one either. He didn't book City players with that one. And it's
he's never booked a City player. Sorry, he's never red carded a City player.
Yeah.
I watch a couple of different YouTubers of different football teams because I do like to get the other perspective, because I am always conscious I don't want to turn into some moany Arsenal fan.
No, I don't want that either.
And the one that I do like, I mean, shoot me down in flames if you don't, I quite like Mark Goodridge for Man United. I watch a couple. I think he's very honest, and he was destroying City in his one yesterday. And all right, people are going to say that's because he's a United fan. I don't actually think it is, to be honest. I think he's, like us, very sick and tired of the crap that's going on with City, that they're just getting away with everything. And, after that game yesterday, I don't really feel confident they're going to be found guilty of anything.
I don't think they're going to be found guilty anyway.
Like with Haaland, with Arteta as well. Like, mate, who do you think you are? Like,
stay humble, and then attacks Jesus. He's like, well, you're not being humble, are you?
Stay humble. No, sorry, he's the only man I've ever known make Ian Wright swear.
Unbelievable.
Right, he is. So this is what I mean. It's just, and this is what frustrates me. It's the inconsistencies. Like, there's positions that our players put themselves in. If you're being really super critical,
he shouldn't have done it. He shouldn't have kicked the ball away. Let's be real about it. He should not have kicked the ball away. Yeah. However, I don't think that the barometer is less than a second.
I was listening to Ref Watch for my sins today. So the reason they didn't book Jeremy Doku was because the understanding they've got is that maybe Jeremy Doku thought that Arsenal was meant to be taking the ball from a different position, and he just kicked it to where it needed to be. I've never had so much shit in my life.
That's fine. However, when Howard Webb did his Prima Donna show, the show that basically he does to make everybody out to be right all the time.
Yeah.
He did that show, and he said that Rice has no right being near that ball. The only reason he was near that ball was because Veltman threw it, kicked it at him, whatever he did. I can't remember exactly. So if he has no right to be near that ball,
nor does Doku.
Yeah,
and this is what I mean. It's no inconsistency. Like, you compare the stuff, what goes on, and people say Arsenal fans are paranoid. But like I listed, Bukayo should have been sent off. Joe Linton made an amazing save the other week against Bournemouth. Martinez should have been sent off. You compare all these people who do what João Pedro should have been booked for the Brighton game. Doku should have been booked. Like, even going to last season.
Bernardo Silva as well. Yeah. When he fouled Partey, he basically ran off with the ball for about 10 yards.
Yeah, So is that not time
Not
wasting?
that's delaying a restart, isn't it?
Yeah, and then then
Mhm.
I'm not surprised, mate. Like, who's in charge of the referees?
Well,
Howard Webb, innit?
Yeah, and who mugged us off and robbed us and done everything to us for years? Howard Webb.
Can I just say, lads, that I put a tweet out on a Facebook group I'm on yesterday, right? I haven't really paid much attention to it today. I've been actually more interested in arguing with Man City fans on Twitter, which, by the way, sorry, on TikTok, which I will add.
Did they
has
have
been
any?
fun. But so I've just checked in with this post that I put up yesterday. It's got 10,000 likes.
That's all right, isn't it?
I don't think I know 10,000 people.
I have to start getting autograph, actually.
yeah, you have to start lining my tweets up.
Yeah, exactly.
I was a bit of a cow though. I put that thing up on TikTok, and every Man City fan that's come after me, I've just been cutting and pasting the answer. You still didn't beat us. You still didn't beat us. You still literally to everything. I've made it work for everything I've been saying, and I've been getting some right crazy so and so's, and I've just been going, yeah, but you still didn't beat us. I mean, I'm making the best of a bad situation, but it does worry me, like, because I was having this conversation with so many people today, and they're going to me, but surely if it's not going to get any better for you, are you still going to keep your season ticket? I was like, well, yeah, because it's my club, and I know the minute I get rid of it, I'll never get it back. Like,
Yeah,
I just think,
no way you're getting it back,
I
is there?
just think it not worries me, but it's like, how can you challenge in a title race against corruption? That's the way I look at it now, personally.
When things are so tight, it's very difficult to kind of look at it with through an open lens and basically go, right, okay,
Yeah.
I kind of really believe this, and people say that we're moaning, and I just want to do everything on the same level. I don't really want to. I don't want to sit here and moan at all. I just
saying,
want, if we get punished, I want everybody else to get punished. That's it.
I was saying to Liam earlier, don't tell me that the referees at the start of the season don't get memos to either say, right, if there's a decision in a game that's going to affect a title race or a top four, remember there's a long season. We need to keep the entertainment value there. You know what I mean? I wouldn't be surprised if that happens, or with all these charges, they say, oh, yeah, just be a bit careful what you do with Man City because we don't really want any backlash. I'm
Can
sorry.
I also add something that's a bit of an uncomfortable truth, but I looked this up today to double check. I know what I'm talking about. The season we went 49 games unbeaten, right?
Yeah.
The refs were on our side that season, and we couldn't have done it without them. It's who they choose. They're the puppet masters of the whole league. And on that Goodridge show today, when I was watching him, he said the refs are there to make the game entertaining. They're not there to keep to the rule book. And I actually never thought of it that way before. And I was like, do you know what? I hate to say it, but he's right, because this is an entertainment sport and people are there to be entertained. And we actually had, way before VAR, right, in that season when we went 49 games unbeaten, we had a penalty decision overturned in the dying seconds before it was taken.
Yeah.
And you can look, I can't remember the team, but you can look it up. It definitely happened. And that's because that year they wanted us to do what we did. I'm not taking away from what we did. We were incredible, but I'm saying that there was a clear agenda at the beginning of the season, and it was because they wanted to take Man United down a peg or two. Because
it was Portsmouth, wasn't it? I think it was a Portsmouth game.
Portsmouth,
yeah,
it was
that's
the
it was.
Perez, the
That's
Robert Perez.
one. But they also,
Yeah.
who again, gents, it's not. You don't need to be a brain surgeon or a mathematician. Who was coming in the back door at that season? Chelsea with Abramovich's money, right? They won the league the following year. They should have won it that year because of all the money they'd spent, and they were literally right up our backsides. But because we had gone a whole season unbeaten, statistically and on points, they couldn't match us. The points they had at the coming second that season, they should have won the league because that's what was won on the year before.
Yeah.
And
anyway, I don't want to run into a moaning spiral or anything
am
like
I
that.
moaning and spiraling? I didn't mean.
No, I think we all are. So I think just before it kind of goes down a road of
we're teetering on the edge of moan.
on the brink of raging marathons of crying.
That sounds like a great That's a great name for either a emo band or a very sad love story.
Yeah.
Different. Yes. So again, I think I just wanted to shout out this guy, David Raya.
Yeah, 100%.
Give him the
Because-
Ballon d'Or now.
Well, the thing is that all right, we didn't make it to the end, but I don't think we even stay in the game if it wasn't for him. To be honest,
No, I think you're
Uh,
right, and I'm sad to say I loved Rambo. I don't think he would have handled the pressure like Raya did yesterday.
I think you
I-
just see levels above it for me. Like I've kind of backed Raya for a long time. Ramsdale was good at Arsenal, but I just think David Raya's just that little bit better. I don't know. Like I know people say Ramsdale made really good saves. Yeah, he did, but I don't know. Just like he's just getting better and better. Like we've seen him, like the save against Wolves that started it for me. Then the one against Villa, then the one against Atlanta with the penalty, and then he's just an all-round goalkeeper. Like let's be honest, Ramsdale weren't the greatest at penalties, was he? Like
I don't think it's even that. I think it's just the confidence he brings when he's commanding his box,
he's
and
just
he's
calm.
basically every cross that comes in, he's there. He literally takes every single cross, and that relieves so much pressure. It's untrue.
Yeah, and he nearly saved. I know it's all hard to say. He nearly saved that Stones goal.
Well, they both rebounded. Well, he saved the first one, didn't he?
Yeah,
And then the rebound kind of, he almost had it, but it, was a bit too much. But
that's what you get that luck, don't you? When you're
I mean, at the end of the day, not too long ago, we'd have lost that hands down anyway.
yeah, definitely.
So in fact, we wouldn't have recovered from the first goal going in.
I was watching.
No, we wouldn't have done. And
I was
actually, one thing I was quite shocked at yesterday, the City didn't get a penalty. I was not that I don't mean that I was waiting for an incident like that. I think there was a particular incident that they would have called that on. I mean that it's just the modus operandi of City, isn't it? They do get quite a lot of penalties.
The thing is that they didn't spend that much time in the box though, did they?
No.
Obviously we were accommodating that space, so it's very difficult for them to get in the box.
I was watching a highlights game. I don't know what year it was. I can't remember. But so our back four was Lichtsteiner, Socrates. I think it was David Luiz, and I can't remember the left, but I think it was something like Tierney or something. And I was like we've gone from that to what we have now with Raya, Ben White, Saliba, Gabriel. You can't complain, can you?
No,
really?
and some fuckers will still moan. That's my point. That's my point. Look at this team now. Think about the shit we've put up with for the last 10, 15 years, right?
Yeah.
And we've got this team now and we're still moaning. Stop moaning. Enjoy what you're seeing. Enjoy the football.
One thing I was surprised, I think you posted it, Sparks, was about Partey only playing 100 games.
Yeah, it's mad, isn't it? Literally, he hit his 100th game in that game, and
it's mad.
For the time he's been with us, that he's only done 100 games is absolute insanity for me.
Yeah, thought he played okay, to be fair, yesterday as well.
What's that?
I thought he played okay yesterday as well. He sent Rodri on his way, didn't he? So let's see that.
I think he's well, no, he didn't. It was nowhere near him, to be honest.
Well, if you're a City fan, that's what they're saying.
No, not a chance.
It was Partey that done it.
Never. No, it was a good yard away from him when he was basically jockeying him, but he was nowhere near him.
No,
absolutely nowhere near him. So he can't be accused of that at all. So I think he did. I think he did well. I think he had he had some good moments in the first half.
Yeah,
and he was kind of trying to push us out as well in the second. So I think he's.
No, as I was saying yesterday in the pub, I do understand why they took Saka off as well.
Yeah,
Like,
so do I.
people were saying about Martinelli, but Martinelli, I've been one of his biggest
Ace
critics.
outlet.
He run his heart out. Do you know what I mean? Like,
Mm.
I just didn't see Saka. I love Bukayo Saka to bits, but I just didn't see him doing what we needed him to do in that second half. So I thought it was just pointless. You might as well take him off and let Martinelli, Havertz, and all that do the running.
You know, I
Yeah,
think if we'd have put Nwari on in them last 10 minutes, the things might have been different. Because the guts I saw him playing against Spurs, I don't think he would have let half the City players fuck about with him the way that they wanted to.
I think he would have probably ended up spearing Erling Haaland, like gone Roman Reigns on him or something.
yeah. I mean, I think in the Spurs game, I think he had a bit more flexibility to do his thing, and I think Jesus kind of took a bit of responsibility away from him as well. So I think that he was kind of covered to do that as well. As much as I'm not taking anything away from him whatsoever. I'm just saying that.
I do think Lewis Scully, I've got a lot of respect for him because I thought when he come on, like, you think, was that his first pit? Well,
it was.
But I thought he actually handled it okay, to be fair. Like,
Yeah.
especially
Yeah.
going in at left back as well, when they're bombarding what they were doing. I thought, and I really hope he starts on Wednesday.
Yeah, but that's kind of his job as well.
Yeah.
Did Skelly get subbed again though? I swear he went off, and someone said, because I had to on earth, I had to listen to the last 10 minutes on the radio because we left my sister-in-law's to go home, and the only way we could pick the game up was on the radio because the reception was so crap. And I said, I can't stand listening to football on the radio. It does my head in. And I swear I heard the commentator say they subbed him because he was already on a yellow.
No, I don't think that was him.
No.
Oh, okay.
I thought that was Partey, was it?
I was going to say, I didn't think you could sub
I think Partey came off. Partey didn't come off.
Oh, didn't he? I don't know.
No,
you can definitely
the late one was Timber.
You can definitely sub a sub, but
yeah,
I don't think he went off.
Yeah, Martinelli came off late, and so did Timber, because Timber got cramp.
Because they both went off, didn't they? Calafiori, Timber, Martinelli, Saka.
Yeah.
And trying to think who the other one was. Was it Truss?
No. There's only 4, but Trossard went off sent off, so there was 5 in total.
Yeah, I forgot about Trossard getting sent off for a second then.
Yeah.
I think it was. I haven't made my mind up about that decision. I think it was, if I'm honest, I think it was petty. And it was even pettier because there was no consistency with. If he'd done that same decision with other players on the pitch, I probably would have been a bit more understanding. But it's the fact that it's just the fact that actually Trossard isn't really a dirty player, and it's just seemed really silly. And like Ian Wright said, players do those things in the heat at the moment all the time, and you're going to constantly get players sent off if you're trying to police their emotions, because things like that they're not even thinking about when they're doing it. All they've got in their sights is the ball.
Wasn't even a second either.
No, but this is the thing. Like in the old days of reffing, I swear refs used to think, or this is what I always believed. Where were the eyes? If the eyes were on the ball, it was like there was no malice intended. They literally went, okay, their player was going for the ball, and it was a silly time challenge. But it's like there's no common sense anymore.
Well, just look at the Martinelli against Wolves. Was that last season before, when he got like 2 yellows in like about 3 seconds?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, I like this person in the chat because they remind me of one of them kids when you take the kids to the supermarket that they just cry when you don't give them attention.
Yeah, I
Because
was
just
going
coming out with rubbish and they want us to respond. Yes, whoever you are, Daddy loves you.
to.
To be
Fine.
fair, it didn't really matter to me because I'm blind, so I can't see it. So it's fine.
Yeah.
Well, George, do you know what? When you said that earlier and you said about you being registered blind, what I've been saying to everyone these last couple of days is
Yeah.
when I listened to the football on the radio, the reason I hated it was because I felt blind. And I was about to say that a minute ago. And I was like, no, I'm not going to say that because I don't want to upset George. Right. And
No,
then you
no,
just
you're
went and
fine.
said it. So.
No, you're fine. I
we
don't
said,
get,
we said,
I
we
don't
said
get,
much worse to George. Don't worry about
I don't get upset by much. Just makes it.
it.
Oh, I quite like this person in the chat now because they've just said sorry, aunt. I'll give you that. That's some good banter, right? We're friends again. Whoever you are, we can be friends again. Right.
But yeah, I just want to get your thoughts actually before we kind of wrap up. I saw a tweet earlier on with I think it was DR Sports that basically put out the team of the week. Have you seen this?
No, show us.
Yeah.
Okay.
You have to read it out.
In goal, we've got Michael Oliver. In central defence, for both positions, we've got Michael Oliver. At left back, we've got Michael Oliver. At right back, we've got Michael Oliver. In the whole of the midfield, we've got Michael Oliver. And the whole of the attacking line, we've got Michael Oliver.
Yeah, to be fair, he had a good game for Man City. He definitely should.
So shout out for GR Sports and Nick their graphic.
They needed obviously they needed someone to come in for Kevin De Bruyne, didn't they? So yeah, fair play. He plays well with Bernardo. So yeah.
All I'm gonna say is when you've got a Spurs fan phoning TalkSport defending Arsenal, you know the world's gone upside down.
Wait, what happened there?
Well, my dad told me about it actually. He turned around and said to me today that he was listening or he was watching it, and there was a Spurs fan that was quite level-headed and saying that was painful to watch because as much as he wanted Arsenal to lose, he genuinely felt like everything was against them. The ref was against them, and they were like, he compared them to a boxer in the ring who just keeps getting pounded and pounded and pounded, and the ref will not blow the whistle, like will not call time out on the game or the match. And I was like, bloody hell, the world's gone upside down if there's a Spurs fan on your side.
No, that was just Anthony Joshua.
Yeah, he definitely was upside down. In fairness.
See, hang on, I thought he supported Watford because that's what I keep reading everywhere. Now people keep telling me it's Spurs.
Yeah, that's why he wears white and blue shorts.
Yeah, no, he's definitely Spurs.
Do we have any Arsenal boxers?
Yeah.
Who's
Anthony Agogo, James DeGale.
Didn't know that. I was quite surprised. What's his name? Old Benedict Cumberbatch. He's an Arsenal fan, isn't he?
Yeah.
Do you know what? Yeah, and do you know what? The Prime Minister in charge, and we're still not going to end up. We're still not going to end up getting anything out of media, culture, and sport, are we? With Man City.
Yeah, this is what my opinion is. So, if he's the Prime Minister, surely he can, say to the referees, "You've got to sort it out, or that's it," or sort Man City out. So we can't get if he can't do it, we ain't got no hope, have we?
Well, this is the thing, isn't it? We've got to get some benefit out of him, haven't we? We go right, okay. We put in a petition now for our 100,000 renovation. Give it to the Prime Minister. Take that to the House. Thank you very much. See you later.
Can I just add, Ninja, I think, is trying to be our friend at the moment. I really like this person. I've changed my opinion. How was that throw from Haaland wasn't red? I think you're 100% right. I don't know how it wasn't a red because
he plays for Man City.
And also Richard said about which I think you brought up a minute ago, bouncing it genuinely funny. You know what? I will say this here, and if an Arsenal fan Arsenal player ever does this, you can clip this show and play it back to me and ram it down my throat. I will never think that's funny, and I would call out any Arsenal player that did that because as somebody that as a child had epilepsy through a head injury, I am very, very susceptible to seeing how these badly timed jokes can go wrong. And that was what happened to me. Someone pushed me over in the playground and I smacked my head clean on the playground floor. And that's how I got it. So I'm sorry, but I don't think anything when you're playing around with someone's head is funny, right? And if an Arsenal player did it, I'd be calling them out to get sent off the exact same way I would be calling out for Haaland. And you can hold me to that one. If an Arsenal player ever does that, hold me to it, please, because I will defend myself with that one.
Yeah.
I will do.
Yeah, yeah, but yeah. I mean, it's a different circumstance, but yeah, Rice did get the red as well. Yeah,
For something petty, yeah.
yeah, yeah, but apparently you can go round charging down people, and that's perfectly fine. You know.
Yeah.
Some of those moves have, yeah, I get called up in the wrestling ring, like anything else.
Yeah, I thought he was Rey Mysterio.
He's a lot bigger than Rey Mysterio. To be fair, he's a bit more like the Undertaker.
You know what you can call you can call Haaland the Bunga Taker.
Yeah.
Bung.
You can tell you're a school teacher.
Yeah. Yeah.
That was funnier in my head. Just not appreciating the vision, gentlemen. Oh, right.
I can't appreciate the vision because I don't know it.
Oh,
Yeah.
mate.
Right,
I'm so glad you came up with that punchline because I wasn't going to say it.
Envision a tumbleweed going across the screen.
Yeah.
Yeah, there we go.
We need a graphic for that every time I tell a joke.
Have you ever thought about doing audio description?
Yeah, kind of. Did Havertz get booked? What was Havertz getting booked for?
I think he sneezed.
Are you talking about the Rodri challenge when Rodri barged into him and he stood his ground? Do you mean that one? Or the one where he got his head taken off by Diaz? Are you talking about that one?
Oh, mate.
Take care, Ninja.
Thanks
for joining in chat. Yeah, I'm not sure why Havertz was getting booked, to be honest, but there you go.
No, I didn't even know he did, to be honest.
Richard, if you you know, you can come on the show when you get things sorted, and then you can explain that one to us. But yeah, if anybody's got anything to add,
yeah, I've had my therapy.
A very nice time.
I've had my therapy. I'm good.
we've had the off shot and letting it all out. So yeah, we appreciate everybody who's in the chat. Make sure you're liking, subscribing to the channel. Make sure you're sharing the lives as well. We're putting a video up as well a bit later if you can tune into that and like that as well. But yeah, in the meantime, yeah, we appreciate everybody and thanks for coming on the show, Aisha.
No problem. Always happy to be on.
Aisha has got her own YouTube and TikTok, and it's in the brackets down there. And yeah, George, thanks for coming on. Appreciate you.
No problem, mate. Always come on when I can.
Yeah, do you want to do a little plug of your channels? Because you've only got George there, so
yeah. So obviously I do the Arsenal Women show on a Monday before Sparks on the All Sports Bar Cafe and in the North Bank. So yeah, come and watch. It's an interesting one. It's quite funny actually. So it's quite a good laugh.
Yeah, I was tuned into that a bit earlier ago as well. So it's yeah, it was quite a nice chilled kind of chat room, and for the most part until you start speaking.
Yeah, thanks, mate. Why we're friends.
But there we go. Yeah, please make sure you're liking and subscribing to the channel, and yeah, we'll see you on the next one. We're going to be back on Friday at 7 p.m. Hopefully we'll see you there. And yeah,
bye.
See you later.